My thoughts on Gamergate. I just wrote this out. Figured it'd be a little bit more coherent if I put my thoughts down on paper, I guess. Um, First heard about Gamergate a few months ago, and I didn't really know much about it because I didn't really know anything. I didn't have Twitter, and well, I had Twitter. I didn't use it, um, but I had seen all the stuff with like Anita Sarkeesian and all that crap that was going on. I watched like Thunderfoot's videos, and I had heard about all the stuff that was going on with it, and I heard about Zoe Quinn and all that shit. Um, then I started looking into it more, and I saw that it was actually about, the ethics and corruption in the gaming journalism world. That that resonated a lot more with me because people complaining about sexism and crap, that's whatever. It's always going to happen. Same people that complain about violence in movies but same thing with violence in video games. It's pretty much the exact same arguments that they're making, but for some reason they think it's different now because they're talking about sexism, which makes no sense whatsoever. But gaming has always been a source of entertainment for millions of people around the world. Whether you like fighting games like Mortal Kombat or racing games like Forza, RPGs like the Elder Scrolls series, or just small little mobile games like Angry Birds. Whether you prefer PC or consoles, Intel or AMD, PlayStation or Xbox, we're all gamers, and that's what unites us, basically. You know, no matter what the small details we may not agree on, what preferences and opinions we may have that differ from others, we all love this culture we helped create. Then comes Gamergate and all the stuff surrounding that. I've always been pretty suspicious of gaming journalism, because it just seemed like, well, if they're getting a early copy to review, chances are if they don't give it a at least decent review, they're probably not going to get another early copy again. So that's the way I saw it, which makes sense, because, there's really no reason to overhype a game unless you have some sort of a stake in it, basically. There's been many times that there's been a game that's got, 10 out of 10 reviews, and then the game actually comes out to the public and it's a broken piece of crap. That, it's formulaic and glitchy, and it's basically the same game as the last installment, just with, a new skin and new characters or something. It's just the same thing. But I know there's a lot of details in just that one thing with the reviewing, but the biggest problem that I have with the whole Gamergate thing and what, happened to the community because of it, it's just a giant, gaping rift that's just ripped it in half. Well, maybe not in half, because I think the vast majority of people are either don't even know about it, or let's just say it's a very small, very vocal minority that's bringing up all these BS complaints about gaming, and the whole Gamergate thing kind of came out from that. Because of course you can't say anything without being called a misogynist or a bigot, even if you're a black, gay, you know, woman. Next thing you know, you're a sock puppet, which is bullshit. But the thing that pisses me off the most is people who disagree with you. They end up calling you the same kind of things that, you know, the jock kind of preppy kids in high school used to call gamers when I was in school. You know, they use the same insults when they're supposedly gamers themselves, you know, call them basement dwellers and virgins and, you know, fat, inept, kind of useless sacks of shit who have no social skills and, you know, stuff like that. And it's kind of pathetic that it turned into that. But what's even worse is they're using the same tactics as, you know, the old farts did when they were trying to say that video games were too violent and they made people violent. It's this exact same thing, except insert, you know, sexist or misogynist or racist, you know, stuff like that. It's, you know, it's no longer whatever the hell his name was, Jack Thompson or whatever his name was. Oh, these games are too violent. They're going to make kids violent, and which all research has shown that it's the exact opposite. Violent crimes and stuff has actually gone down. Not to say that it's exact correlation with the rise in video games, but either way, the numbers are the numbers. You can't do anything about it. But it's the same thing as, you know, what's happening now is, oh, video games are too sexist. They're making everybody, you know, objectify women, and they're all misogynists, and they're all going to be sexist in the real world, which studies have shown isn't true. But of course, they're the vocal minority victims who get all the attention from the media, and I think that's basically what it comes down to, is they're being portrayed as victims, and they know it gets a lot of sympathy from people who have no idea what's going on. And that's how they get so popular. But my big issue with it is let the consumer decide what, you know, sells. That's basically what it boils down to. If they start making crappy video games and people don't want to play them, then they're not going to buy them. And if they don't buy them, they're not going to make a video game like that again. And that also goes in with the, you know, corrupt journalism too, because they're overhyping games that are crap, you know, while not giving any attention to anything else that may be a lot better, but isn't from some giant company that has, you know, millions of advertising dollars. But, you know, what they say is, you know, the customer's always right, which may not be true in a retail setting, but as far as making art, movies, games, whatever, if people don't like it, they're not going to buy it. If they like it, they're going to buy it. So that's the big problem I have, is people trying to say what can and cannot be made just because their ideology and their feel-bads dictate to everybody else what they can and cannot see and buy and hear, you know, and watch, whatever. Basically, they're not creating anything but controversy. And they may very well be destroying the industry, because all these companies who don't want to look bad, you know, get their PR dollars rolling and start kowtowing to all these people, making worse and worse video games, having, you know, one hand tied behind their back. Every time they create a character, they're going to be worried that somebody's going to be offended by something by it or about it. You know, it's kind of pathetic. People should be free to do whatever they want. basically. And they don't want that. They want censorship and anything that makes them feel icky, which in reality it probably doesn't even make them feel icky. They just you just see a certain thing and just some, gender studies course starts echoing in the back of their brain, and they just can't think for themselves. They just start parroting what everybody else is saying. That's what it seems like to me. So, anywho, I guess I'll shut up now. I was going to record this on a video, but I didn't really want to put my face on there. Anywho, yeah, that's about all I had to say about it. So, see ya.